but I'm a person, and I feel like, people will like you for who you are if you are true to yourself. And
Alright, listen carefully. Because what happened next is where this story stops being heartwarming and starts becoming historic. Behind the scenes, things were moving fast. Within hours of that simple gesture, that unscripted, unplanned moment where Alexandra Eala handed over her match racket, Sheikh Khaled al-Rashid's inner circle was already in motion. Now understand something about men at that level of wealth and influence. They don't react impulsively. They analyze. They evaluate. They consult advisors. Every major move is strategic. But this wasn't about strategy. It was about impact. Sources close to the family say that during the private ride home, Aisha refused to let go of that racket. She held it across her lap like a treasure. She reportedly told her father, "She gave it to me because she believes in me." That sentence changed everything. Because for the first time, the Sheikh wasn't looking at Alexandra Eala as a talented tennis player. He was looking at her as influence. Not the kind you buy with billboards. The kind that shapes lives. By the next morning, representatives from Al-Rashid's investment group had reached out. Not with a memorabilia request. Not with a one-off appearance fee. But with something far bigger. A long-term global partnership. We're not talking about a logo on a sleeve. We're talking about a multi-year ambassador role reportedly worth tens of millions annually. A collaboration centered around youth development, global sports access, and philanthropic initiatives tied to Ella's name. And here's the wild part. It wasn't framed as a sponsorship. It was framed as alignment. The official statement, released just hours ago, confirmed a strategic partnership focused on empowering young athletes worldwide, inspired by a moment of genuine sportsmanship. Translation: one act of kindness reshaped an entire business conversation. Think about the contrast. Most endorsement deals happen after months of negotiation. Agents, lawyers, branding committees, data analytics, market projections. This one started with a smile and a racket handed over a barrier. That's what makes this story different from every Nike contract or Rolex partnership we've ever seen. This wasn't performance-driven. It was character-driven. And let's zoom out for a second. Alexandra Eala walked into that exhibition carrying pressure from the Philippines, scrutiny from critics, and questions about whether she could crack the top 50. She walked out with something far more powerful than ranking points. Global credibility. Because here's the truth in modern sports marketing. Audiences are tired of polished perfection. They crave authenticity. They respond to heart. And what Alex showed in that moment wasn't calculated generosity. It was instinct. Insiders are now saying this partnership could fund youth tennis academies across Southeast Asia, as scholarship programs for underprivileged athletes, training exchanges between the Middle East and the Philippines, a major grassroots tournaments bearing her name. That's the ripple effect of one decision. Not a viral stunt. Not a PR play. Just empathy. And if you're wondering how the tennis world is reacting, players are stunned. Sponsors are paying attention. Because this shifts the model. It proves that in 2026, influence isn't just about trophies. It's about trust. It's about what you represent when no one tells you to act. Alexandra Eala didn't know cameras would capture that moment. She didn't know a billionaire was evaluating her integrity in real time. She just saw a young fan with hope in her eyes. And she chose generosity. So here's the takeaway. Sometimes you think you're just brightening someone's day. But you're actually building your legacy. And sometimes when you lead with your heart instead of your wallet, the universe responds in ways no contract negotiation ever could. This isn't just a tennis story. It's a reminder. Character compounds. Kindness scales. And the biggest wins don't always happen on the scoreboard. But behind palace walls, this wasn't just a feel-good moment anymore. Inside Sheikh Khaled al-Rashid's residence, serious conversations were unfolding. Not about publicity. Not about headlines. About character. According to sources close to the family, the sheik couldn't stop talking about one word: authenticity. In a world where many athletes measure every move for maximum exposure, Alexandra Eala had acted without calculation. No cameras requested, no announcement prepared, no expectation of return. He simply gave. And that's what moved him. He didn't just see a rising tennis player. He saw someone with the heart of a champion, someone who deserved more than applause. While Alex was likely back at her hotel, maybe FaceTiming her family in the Philippines, maybe icing her shoulder after a long match, a formal delegation was being assembled. This wasn't flowers and a thank you card. This was executive level. Then the official statement dropped from the office of Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid himself, and the tennis world froze. The release began by speaking about his daughter receiving a gift she would treasure forever. But it quickly shifted tone, praising Ella's demonstration of the power of human connection in a world driven by transactions. Then came the announcement: an exclusive long-term partnership to fully support Alexandra Ella's professional career. Not a logo placement, not a one-off endorsement, comprehensive backing structure. Industry insiders began whispering numbers: tens of millions annually. The reported details were staggering. Elite coaching access across Europe and the Middle East, full travel coverage, including private aviation for peak performance scheduling, a world-class medical, physio, nutrition, and sports psychology teams, state-of-the-art training facilities, guaranteed wildcards into select prestigious Middle Eastern events, technology, analytics, and equipment on par with top 10 players. This is the ecosystem usually built around legends at their peak. The kind of infrastructure that supported icons like the biggest champions of the modern era. And it was being offered not for a Grand Slam trophy, but for character. When the delegation arrived at Alex's hotel to present the proposal, witnesses say she was overwhelmed. There's circulating footage of her holding the documents, hands trembling, not cheering, not posing, but crying quietly. "I just wanted to make her smile," she reportedly said. That's the part that hits hardest. This wasn't ambition chasing opportunity. It was kindness meeting consequence. For context, tennis is brutally expensive, especially for players from the Philippines and across Southeast Asia. Travel costs, coaching teams, tournament entries. They can end careers before they truly begin. With this partnership, Ella could now focus fully on performance. No financial strain. No resource ceiling. Just tennis. And for someone competing on the Women's Tennis Association, that kind of backing can mean the difference between hovering in the top 50 and breaking into the top 10. Other players are reportedly stunned, some envious, many inspired, because this deal signals something powerful. Integrity still matters. The Sheikh's investment isn't only financial. It positions Ella as a bridge between Asia and the Middle East, a symbol of global tennis's next era. And for those who followed her journey from her junior triumph at the US Open to her steady professional climb, this feels surreal, but earned. Reads like fiction. But the lesson is very real. You never know who's watching when you choose kindness. You never know when a simple gesture will return multiplied. Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid gave a talented young athlete freedom to chase greatness without limits. And to his daughter, that birthday gift may have launched something much bigger than anyone imagined. Now the big question: does this become the turning point? Does Alexandra Ella ride this wave of belief and support straight into the top 10? Because history shows that when talent meets resources, and both are anchored by character, extraordinary things can happen. From a tennis court to a palace, this story reminds us of something timeless. Lead with kindness. Compete with heart, and never underestimate the power of one unplanned moment.